So what if I told you that the very first hour of your day holds the absolute power to completely transform your anxiety levels for the next 23 hours? I know, it sounds like a massive claim, but the science backing this up is just fascinating. In this explainer, we're going to dive into 7 scientifically backed morning routines that actually help you construct what we call a neurochemical fortress against daily stress. And to help us visualize all this, you'll be seeing our soon-to-be very calm stickman protagonist throughout. We're going to walk step by step through his morning, and yours, really, to show you exactly how you can rewrite your brain's daily startup sequence.
Okay, let's dive into this. If you frequently wake up feeling like our frantic stickman friend here, totally overwhelmed and buzzing with that nervous energy before your feet even hit the floor, listen to me carefully. This is not a personal failure. It is actually a deeply ingrained biological mechanism. You aren't waking up anxious because you're broken. You're waking up anxious because of your biology. And the truly incredible part? Once you understand that biology, you can completely hack it.
So, that biological mechanism is called the cortisol awakening response, or CAR for short. Basically, when you wake up, your body naturally releases cortisol, which, believe it or not, is actually a good thing. It's the stress hormone that gives you that initial jolt to get out of bed. But here's the catch. Research out of the University of Trier in Germany found that for people who are dealing with chronic stress or anxiety, this cortisol release gets severely amplified. Think of it kind of like a chaotic software startup sequence for your day. If your operating system boots up with all these internal alarms blaring, literally everything else you do is going to run slower and way less efficiently. So our goal today is to manually reboot that nervous system, turning off those blaring alarms and shifting you into a calm, highly focused state.
To build our neurochemical fortress, we're going to follow a simple 4-phase roadmap. First, protect your peace. Second, calm your nervous system. Third, fuel body and mind. And fourth, set your daily intention.
All right, kicking things off with phase 1, protect your peace.
This phase is all about boundaries, pure and simple. We really need to treat the first hour of your day as a sacred, highly protected boundary for your brain, specifically for its fear center. Think about the most common morning mistake. You wake up, you roll over, grab your phone, and instantly start scrolling. Boom. You're hit with urgent emails, stressful news headlines, maybe some social media comparisons. What you are doing is literally inviting chaos straight into your bedroom. This massive influx triggers your amygdala, the brain's fear center, before you've had even a single second to establish your emotional baseline. On the flip side, protecting that first hour, like leaving your phone in another room entirely, creates this profound sense of psychological safety. It signals to your brain that there's no immediate threat, keeping that morning cortisol spike perfectly in check.
And check this out, because this brilliantly illustrates why that boundary is so absolutely vital. 23. According to Dr. Gloria Mark at UC Irvine, when you switch contexts or get distracted by your phone, it takes an average of 23 minutes to regain your full, deep focus. Think about that. So when you check those notifications first thing in the morning, you are literally fragmenting your attention and setting your brain up for this anxious, scattered day before you've even brushed your teeth. Seriously, protect that first hour.
Moving right along to phase 2, calm your nervous system. This is where we start bringing in some biological interventions to just manually switch off that fight or flight response. And the very first switch, water before coffee. Just picture our stickman here happily hydrating. Look, during sleep, you naturally get dehydrated. A study in the journal Psychopharmacology actually found that just a tiny 1 to 2% level of dehydration significantly spikes your cortisol and adrenaline, while simultaneously dropping feel-good chemicals like serotonin and dopamine. If you pour caffeine right onto that dehydrated system, man, you are throwing absolute rocket fuel onto an anxiety fire. By drinking 16 to 20 ounces of water first thing, you're rehydrating your brain, improving how your neurotransmitters function, and basically giving your nervous system time to naturally regulate before the caffeine even hits.
Next up, we're going to actively calm that amygdala using nothing but our breath. Research from Stanford University shows that specific breathing patterns can actually calm your fear center in as little as 5 minutes. We do this through something called box breathing, which is a technique used by special forces and therapists alike. It stimulates the vagus nerve, which runs all the way from your brain down to your gut, instantly shifting you into a rest and digest state. It's super simple. Try just 1 cycle with me right now. Ready? Inhale deeply for 4 counts. Now hold that breath for 4. Exhale slowly for 4. And finally, hold empty for 4. Just doing 5 to 10 minutes of that physically rewires your morning stress response. It's like magic.
Okay, let's move into phase 3, fuel body and mind.
Now that we're feeling a bit more calm, we need to fuel up. And guys, this is arguably one of the most powerful habits on the entire list. Getting natural sunlight into your eyes within 30 minutes of waking up. As neuroscientist Dr. Andy Huberman points out, this light exposure hits your retinas and sends a direct signal to the master clock in your brain. It immediately suppresses melatonin, so you actually stop feeling groggy, and it triggers a massive natural boost of serotonin and dopamine. It essentially synchronizes your entire day's biochemistry. You're creating this amazing cascade of natural anti-anxiety chemicals just by stepping outside for a few minutes.
And hey, while you're out there getting that sunlight, we want to add a little bit of movement. And no, you absolutely do not need to go run 5 miles at 6 a.m. Even gentle movement, like a 10-minute walk or just some light stretching, causes your brain to release something called BDNF. You can think of BDNF as literal Miracle-Grow fertilizer for your brain. It promotes the survival of neurons in the exact areas of your brain that regulate anxiety. So just by moving gently, you're physically reinforcing the actual brain structures that keep you calm.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the impact of breakfast. According to data from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, people who skip breakfast have a massive 36% higher level of anxiety. 36%. Now, why is that? Well, because if you skip breakfast entirely, or if you eat a super sugary, carb-heavy breakfast, your blood sugar eventually crashes. And your body? It interprets a blood sugar crash as a literal life-or-death survival threat. So what does it do? It pumps you full of adrenaline and cortisol to try and fix it.
So to prevent that whole threat response, we eat what we call an anti-anxiety breakfast. You want quality protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. We're talking eggs, maybe a bit of avocado, and some oatmeal or berries. This exact combination prevents that dreaded blood sugar roller coaster entirely. By giving your body stable, sustained energy, you're basically telling your brain, hey, we are safe, we are fueled up, there is no emergency here. You are literally building the chemical foundation for a completely anxiety-free day.
Which brings us to phase 4. Set your daily intention.
This final block in our fortress is all cognitive. To really understand why setting a daily intention works so well, you have to know about something called the reticular activating system, or the RAS. The RAS is basically your brain's automatic filter. If you wake up and your first thought is, ugh, today is going to be incredibly stressful, well, your RAS will spend the rest of the day filtering your reality to prove you right. It actively hunts for threats, annoyances, and dangers. But if you take control and set a positive intention early on, you completely flip this filter. You program your RAS to spot opportunities, find solutions, and highlight positive interactions instead.
And honestly, one of the absolute best ways to flip that filter is through gratitude. Look at how peaceful our stickman friend is now. Research from UC Berkeley's Greater Good Initiative found that just having a simple daily gratitude practice reduces anxiety by 23%. Just spending 2 to 3 minutes writing down 3 to 5 things you are genuinely grateful for creates this incredibly resilient positive cognitive bias. It tells your RAS exactly what kind of day you expect to have. And there you have it, your neurochemical fortress. By combining these steps, you have systematically constructed a multi-angle defense system against stress. And the most crucial point here is how beautifully and seamlessly this all flows together in just a single hour. At minute 0, you wake up, you leave that phone alone, and you hydrate. By minute 15, you're outside doing some deep breathing while the natural sunlight resets your circadian rhythm. At minute 30, you're enjoying some gentle movement to boost that brain fertilizer. And by minute 45, you're sitting down to a balanced breakfast and just taking a moment to write out a few things you're grateful for. You've completely replaced a chaotic, stressful startup sequence with a highly structured, biology-optimizing flow. It's so approachable and honestly, incredibly achievable. Now hear me out. You do not have to do all of these tomorrow. Please don't overwhelm yourself. The real power here is simply in knowing that your anxiety isn't just something that happens to you, it's something you actually have the biological tools to manage. I really encourage you to pick just 1 or 2 of these habits to start with tomorrow morning. Take back control of your neurochemistry. So I'll leave you with this one question to ponder. If changing just the first 60 minutes of your day could fundamentally alter your reality for the next 23 hours, isn't your peace of mind worth protecting?